Alright everybody, welcome to Stickman Trenches. Now this is actually a game made by BaronVonGames, a pretty popular YouTuber, you know. But you know what? I'm here to sort of criticize this game. As you see, I've won 5-star many maps, and I'm going to show you the strategy I used. Here's how you win every single map in the entire game. You play the Russian Empire. You hit a few buttons. Basically, the goal is literally just the upgrades you want to get is one of this, and then every other time you get medals, you put it to this, so you get 5 riflemen in total per rifleman you buy, and then you want to get this, and then grenades, and then gas mask if you feel like protecting your troops. But the entire thing is, we're literally just going to summon 100 troops, and the enemy's only going to be able to summon 30. So we're going to kill like 29 troops, and they're going to kill like 100 troops. Because we're literally just going to send all our troops to die. To fill up this XP bar in order to get us more medals. So the literal goal here is to get as many of these guys killed as possible. Sure, we want to kill some of the enemy because it gives us more XP than dying. But at the same time, we also don't care if our own guys die. If they die, it doesn't matter. Okay, there we go, we got that. Now just one more medal and we're gonna be able to spawn even more. Look at this. 3 of them. Soon it'll be 4, then it'll be 5. And see, even though they have better units than us, it doesn't matter. We outnumber them 4 to 1. Every time they spend $70, they only get 1 unit where we get 4. We want these guys to die. That's why we're literally just sending them over here. Because also the AI has these upgrades too, I'm pretty sure. So they probably have increased accuracy, body armor. But we don't. We literally just have Russians who are going to march to the death. That's it. The entirety of this strategy is literally just to get these guys to march to death. It does not matter how many of our guys they actually kill, because it's never going to be enough. You can just send wave after wave at them, and eventually, you know, they'll die. They'll all die. And then once we have the strategy fully set up, then we just stack units and march once we have like 50. Which only takes 10 unit purchases at that rate. Okay, there we go. Everything we need. Now, instead of marching them all to die for right now, now we're just going to hold them in this area here. We're actually going to hold them back here. Those guys will fend them off. We're going to hold them back. And then once we have... okay, yeah, look at that. See, because another thing is, they have to attack us to be able to get rid of our spot here. So as long as we just send in a line of 5 of these guys at once, we'll eventually defeat them. So we're literally just sending wave after wave after wave. You can get a captain if you want every now and then, you know. It increases their fire rate and their accuracy and whatnot, but it doesn't really matter. When you have hundreds of units, nothing matters. Rush the enemy lines. You're gonna die. Also, these random debris across the field actually does slow them down, so soldiers walking around this will walk slower, as you see. Well, you would have saw if you didn't die. Alright, yeah, more money. And we're just gonna throw that into money too. We're just gonna spam units. Now, this is the hardest map in the game, and we are fighting, if I remember correctly, this is, Germany? I don't actually know, this is the British. Okay, yeah, see how many guys we got here? It's way too much. We're gonna buy a shotgunner and a captain here. The captain will reinforce some of our troops, but that's not the goal. The goal is simply kill the enemies. And then see, they don't have defense behind this trench, so we rush the next trench. And then we rush the next trench. We just simply have too many guys to possibly fail. And we're constantly getting reinforcements. Even though I'm not constantly spamming the button, I'm constantly getting reinforcements. Because there's nothing else. There's just so many guys that even if I stopped now, there'd still be more units coming. And there we go, we won in hard mode. 264 units to 45 in only 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Tanks are way too big of an investment in this game. They're basically worthless. Now let's try the hardest map on hard difficulty. And again, this is the exact same strategy, and you might want to ignore, why don't you do any other strategies? Well, this is the most overpowered strategy in this game. So I think the game needs better balancing. And also it needs Austria-Hungary to actually eventually have abilities, but I think that's coming soon. And hopefully they also add new maps, or at least something new, like a new environmental thing. Like they could add landmines, or barbed wire. Or maybe like a line down a trench where you have to defend each side of the trench. Or bunkers, you know? Alright, well, I don't actually know who we're fighting here. This is not Austria-Hungary. This is Germany, I think. Yep, and we took that. Again, this is the hardest map in the entire game, and we're already at the last setting. In fact, this strategy's not working well because we're not dying enough. Funny enough, the strategy works better when guys die more. And honestly, we might actually just win simply because they can't produce as many units as we can. Though their units are definitely superior. And the water does actually severely slow us down. That's a shotgunner right there. Which, Germany starts with a shotgunner, but I'm not sure that's historically accurate. I could have sworn that the Germans made shotguns a war crime. Although I do like how they replaced the machine gunner with the stormtrooper. It's a very cool unit, but not very good. It's way too expensive. And yeah, we're gonna send all these guys over. They'll die, and they'll get us more medals, which allows us to get more guys. This is the entire strategy. And it's not the worst, alright? Maybe I'm being too harsh in this game. I don't know. It provides some entertainment, you know? You could also just, you know, play this game while, watching another video game. And also, see now this interaction where the trenches are close enough together where if the enemies or allies are close enough to this side and they shoot each other, that's cool. I would prefer more of that. If, like, from the trenches they would fire shots at each other. Or if they had longer ranges, because right now, all the fights take place in, like, one line versus one line. I'd prefer the units to be more spread out, have longer ranges, you know? Because I'd like it if these two would actually just have a gunfight right here. And they would shoot at each other. That would be cool, but we don't have that. Yeah, all these guys are dying. Again, for every guy that dies, we get more XP. So there's nothing bad about these guys dying. We only benefit off their deaths. So, you know, also this is cool, right? But we don't see much of the stuff that's cool. And also, there are many glitches in this game. These glitches are not the worst in the world, but they're also not exactly the something I like seeing, you know? They're only like minor inconsistencies or bugs, you know? But as you see, we're completely outnumbering the enemy to an extreme extent. But you know, I'd really like to see more from this game because this is interesting. It's Stick Wars, but World War II and with guns. Sorry, not World War II, World War I. And yeah, this is the hardest map in the entire game, and we won because of how many more units we were able to summon than they could. And let's try this again on the hardest difficulty. So this is going to be way harder, apparently. Now this time I'm going to use a slight bit more strategy and not just rush the enemies constantly. Instead, we're only going to slightly rush them constantly. We want to get across the river, though. If we can set up like a base like right there, that'd be perfect. Okay, this time we're fighting against the French. Okay. And again, we want our units to die. So we're gonna send these guys over. And we just want to summon these units whenever it's possible. And also, the enemy does not really want to rush you unless you have an empty trench, or the enemies are going to the trench or they outnumber you. And also, one of the things is I wish you could send a certain amount of guys over, instead of having to send them all over at once. And also, I'm not exactly sure what the point of shotgunners is. I think they shoot like twice or something, but they also do more damage, which is only ever useful against tanks or the enemy base. But I don't think it's very common that you'll actually ever be fighting those with a shotgunner. Alright. And there we go, we're getting 5 units for every one we summon. And for some reason, the enemy did precision artillery. I don't know why. It made no sense there. We're going to defend this trench now. And yeah, so here are our units of 5. Attack. And also, that does happen. If they're currently fighting and you tell them to move forwards, they don't do anything. They just sit there. Alright, now the guys are gonna have grenades. And also, again, if you're gonna play endless mode in this game, the best thing to do is literally just play the Russians and spam units till your game glitches. Send them over. Send them over. Send them over. There's actually no point in doing this. I don't need any more medals. But we're gonna send them over anyways. Might as well, right? What's it to me? Okay, now basically the, Also, really good thing is poisonous gas. If you really want to kill enemy units, just use poisonous gas. None of the artillery is actually good at that. As long as they don't have gas masks, you're good to just dump poisonous gas on them. Alright. Rush forwards, they throw grenades, everybody... See, another thing is, the Russians are even more powerful by having grenades, because, sure, it's a 20% chance to throw a grenade. But the thing is, when you have 50 troops on the same place, 20% chance to throw a grenade, they all throw grenades. Honestly, I feel like this should be locked, this should be banned, and this should be open, this should be open. But this right here, grenades, should be banned. It's too strong. I feel like they'd be way more balanced like that. But, you know, we're not exactly... I'm not exactly, you know, making video games, so I can't balance anything. Alright, attack. And also, maybe grenades are just too powerful, because they one-shot everything and then do splash damage. And yeah, this is the hardest map on, I think, yeah, the hardest difficulty. And they didn't even, we've literally just been on the attack. They haven't attacked us once. There we go. Look at that, 217 units to 50. We actually killed more of their units, apparently, than they summoned. That's crazy. But yeah, and they also earned over double the stars we did. But yeah, you know, again, this game's not the worst, alright? I do find it a bit fun. I just have to say that it's badly balanced. There's not enough maps, and there's not enough cool things in the maps. Like, stuff like this on the back screen right here will never happen. Like, I'd like it if something like this could happen. Like, if you could select to send some troops, or not all the troops, you know? Have them fight it out here. If these guys would actually use their bayonets, if you could actually shoot from the other sides of the trenches, that'd be cool. Maybe allow you to place barbed wire as an ability, and that'd be cool too. But anyways, that's gonna do it for Stickwar Trenches. Don't know if I'm actually gonna be playing this game on the channel ever again. But, you know, until next time, goodbye, and thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on Rumble.